one thing can derail an entire season. Now, I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes having a high ankle sprain is derailing the season. I'm not saying, I mean, we saw Patrick Mahomes win a Super Bowl on a high ankle sprain, so. But the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Cleveland Browns 21-7. And the biggest talking point out of this game was Patrick Mahomes obviously getting hurt, having a high ankle sprain, now considered day to day, and what the Cincinnati or what the the Kansas City Chiefs should do moving forward. I think this is an interesting situation. It's an interesting situation because of how this season has gone this year. I hear a bunch of media pundits saying that the Kansas City Chiefs need to sit Patrick Mahomes until the playoffs, even if that means that they lose the rest of their games and someone like the Buffalo Bills win and get the number one seed. I understand that thinking. Let me first say that I understand the thinking because if there's any team that has proven over these last few years that they can go into anywhere in the playoffs and win, it is the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if you want to play with fire like that, seeing as though they're starting to nickname the AFC Championship the Kansas City Chiefs or Arrowhead Invitational, because most of the time the Kansas City Chiefs have such a good record that the AFC Championships have been held in Kansas City. And I understand the most important thing, especially for a team trying to three-peat, especially for a team that is projected to be as good and look to be as good as this Kansas City Chiefs team is, the most important thing is health in the postseason. So I get that. But I started this little segment about playing with fire. The Kansas City Chiefs have been playing with fire all year. Now they've been winning, but winning these 1-point games, one possession games, having to block a field goal, having missed kick, like the ways that they've won, you'd think that voodoo was just running rampant in Kansas City from the Raiders, looking dominant until they didn't. The Broncos blocked kick. To be completely honest with you, if the Kansas City Chiefs looked as good as they've looked throughout the years, I would agree wholeheartedly that you should sit Patrick Mahomes. But you and I both know that this Kansas City Chiefs team has not looked great. They found ways to win. For that, I give them the ultimate credit. They found ways to win week after week. But they've also had to find ways to win week after week. And when I said playing with fire, this could be the fire extinguisher, Patrick Mahomes not being there. And as much as nutrition and health is important, which it is, so is momentum going into the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, I know how great Patrick Mahomes is. I think he's one of, if not the greatest quarterback in the league or in NFL history. But that's a tall task. Sitting someone until the playoffs, or maybe a week or two. So that means you have a game before the playoffs. Asking them to sit and then to rev up their engines for the playoffs when, even at their best, even perfectly healthy, this Kansas City Chiefs team hasn't looked great offensively. That's a tough ask. especially when the first team you could possibly see is a team like Denver in the playoffs or a team like Baltimore. I don't know if that's something that you really want to do. So I don't know if, again, I know we saw him win a Super Bowl, but that was the last game of the season. You had to. I don't. Maybe you sit him again. The schedule also doesn't give them any favors as well. They have like 3 games in 10 days. They have the Saturday game coming up. They have Christmas. Then I think they have Sunday. That's tough. So at that, I would probably sit him. Yeah, I would probably sit him 1 or 2 of these games, but I don't know. I know that's tough. You're going to need to. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to need to lean on their defense. And while the defense has been good and great at times, there's only so much. Kind of like the Cleveland Browns, a team that they just played. There's only so much a defense can do when their offense isn't matching the level of play. It's tough. And there's really not much to say about the Cleveland Browns in this case. Like, I talk about Russell Westbrook a lot on this podcast. And I say that at this point of his career, he is what he is. If you think that you're going to turn Russell Westbrook into a consistent 3-point shooter at this state of his career, when he hasn't done it his entire career, I don't know what to tell you. So Russell Westbrook has seen his most successful seasons as a poor 3-point shooter. He's the only player in NBA history that has 4 seasons averaging a triple-double. He has the most triple-doubles in NBA history. So to think that you better turn into Steph Curry just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I say all that to say, if you think that this is going to be the time, this is going to be the moment where Jameis Winston stops throwing interceptions, I don't know what to tell you. Jameis Winston, who he is. He is an incredible watch at times. He's a fun player. He has quotes for days. I think when he's playing his absolute best, he is an incredible quarterback. I mean, I know we talk about the 30 interception season, but he also had 30 plus touchdowns, which is a lot. But he did have 30. He is a interception machine. If you were a betting person, I'm not a betting person, but if you were a betting person, I think probably the safest bet every single week is Jameis Winston throws an interception, at least one. He threw 3 this game and got benched. I don't think that the Cleveland Browns have the worst quarterback situation, but they don't have a good one. Because Jameis Winston has proven that he cannot be your number 1 quarterback, and you think that you have Super Bowl aspirations. That's just not. That 2 and 2 does not equal 4 in that sense. And then you have Deshaun Watson, who hasn't been great either when he comes back. So Cleveland is a very interesting case because I'm thinking to myself, what do you do? Do you hit the reset button? But you have really good, and that's the thing. Like, you have really good pieces. David Njoku's really good. Elijah Moore has come on this season. Jarrett Jeudy has rejuvenated his season. You still have an incredible defense. Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett. Like, what do you do? Because you could say that you're a quarterback away, but the way that you divvied up this money and the way that you divvied up contracts, it's going to be tough finding a quarterback that, you still have Deshaun Watson's deal. So I don't know. The Cleveland Browns is just in a tough situation. I'm not going to lie, a tough situation that they probably put themselves in, but a tough situation altogether. But congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for beating the Cleveland Browns 21-7. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.